Shalom, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Yahweh is the true name of the Heavenly Father, who this world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is the true name of the Heavenly Father's only begotten Son, who this world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And Rakakodash is the true name of the Holy Spirit, Rakakodash meaning Spirit, Holy in Paleo Hebrew, and Bahashem is a phrase in the Paleo Hebrew language meaning in the name, and of course the Paleo Hebrew language. And as usual, I want to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders, especially of Great Millstone, who rule and teach a 100% truth well, and Shalom unto the whole elect. And as usual, and as always, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai are the one and only true names that we are to be calling on in these perilous times in order to be eligible to receive salvation. Today, pretty much this was planned to be my a camp lesson, but the weather was very bad in the weekend, so instead, I'm just simply deciding to do it indoors and now. Alright, and I don't have a title for it. I plan it to be more basic, but essentially, it's two topics. Alright, lots of precepts. Alright, but I don't run with this out. I can get through it decently quickly. Alright, of course, not too quickly. Alright, hell is not the place where you can burn for all eternity, man. Alright, where you burn for all eternity. Alright, that's a common misconception that people have, that Christians believe, that the Lord, after you die, you get judged. Okay, and the Lord gives you two options: heaven or hell. Well, actually, he doesn't give you an option; he just judges you, and then he just sends you. Then he just sends you up to heaven or sends you down to hell, a parallel dimension, like infinite in size or whatever they say. I don't know. And freaking you and your soul, you go down there and you're burning and screaming along with millions and billions of other souls. Meanwhile, Satan, who's now red for some reason, and with horns and a devil's tail and a freaking spear or knife. I don't know. Well, yeah, pitchfork. Yeah, they usually depict him with a pitchfork is stabbing you. No, man. All right, that is not true. Okay, the Bible does not mention that, man. Hell is actually just something completely different in the Bible. All right, and something really much simpler. Okay. All right, and it's not a place where you burn for all eternity. That is truthfully against the Lord's character. All right, okay. The next topic is salvation is only for Israel, man. And it's another misconception that salvation is for all nations. No, it's not. It's simple, okay? It's just not. It's really for all. It's for Israel, okay? First, starting with the elect on this side, and truthfully, it really extends to all of Israel. All right, at the end of it all. But on this side, it's about the elect, man. And there's really going to be a difference, anyways, a hierarchy, okay? Because the Lord, He deals with order, all right? A hierarchy, anyways, because the Lord's not going to be unfair and just not give the elect any rewards. No, all right? Truthfully, the 2/3, even the 2/3 being the non-elect, all right? There's, of course, that's really in America. Big when I'm saying the non-elect in general, they will be amazing off. But still, they're going to be lower ranked, and of course, they're going to be ashamed for a long while, man, because they're going to know what they did is wrong, and, so on and so forth, okay? All right? So salvation is only for Israel, man. All right, but now let's get started. The first topic: hell is not the place where you burn for all eternity. All right, so let's move this. Let's get Psalms 136 and 2. All right, where's it? Actually, yeah, here we go. So first off, this goes against the Lord's character, man. All right. Thanks for the Lord Yahweh's goodness to Israel. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord Yahweh for He is good, for His mercy endureth forever, man. The Lord's mercy endureth forever, man. Okay? Oh, give thanks unto the power of God's, for His mercy endureth forever. Okay? All right. Which we are gods. All right. The Israelite men, we are meant to be gods. All right. So, and well, who's our power? The power of Israel. Well, the God of Israel. All right. Is, well, Yahweh. All right. Of course. All right. That's a power. Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Oh, give thanks unto the God of Israel. All right, because the Israelite men are gods. All right, for His mercy endureth forever. All right. Oh, give thanks to the Lord of Lords, for His mercy endureth forever. To Him who alone doeth great wonders, for His mercy endureth forever. To Him that is made, by who is made the heavens, for His mercy endureth forever. Mercy endureth forever. Mercy endureth forever. Mercy endureth forever. Verse 9, verse 10, verse 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Hold up. All right. I'm pretty sure it's the whole chapter. Yes, it is literally the whole chapter. An entire chapter keeps on restating the fact that the Lord's mercy endureth forever. All right. So when the Bible repeats something, man, all right, that means it's something to take note of, man. Okay. All right. For His mercy endureth forever, man. Okay. The Lord's mercy endures forever. Okay. He's not going to send people It's not, especially in Israelite, man, especially in Israel, because the Lord doesn't really care about the heathen nations, but even they will not go to hell. All right, even they are not. Well, by hell, I mean like the dimension and no such thing. Okay, even the Lord's not gonna cast them into hell forever, man. All right, okay. Well, give thanks unto the Lord Yahweh, for He is good, for His mercy endureth forever, man. All right, so His mercy endures forever. All right, hell is a place where you burn forever. That's not mercy enduring forever, man. All right, because even the Lord will have mercy on even the two-thirds, on even the most wicked, decrepit, garbage Israelite, man. All right, okay. Because in some ways, man, some of the wicked of our people, they're even worse than Esau, the wicked himself. All right, and even the wicked is not going to burn in hell forever. The wicked is going to have to go through, of course, the destruction of his kingdom. All right, 1,000 years of slavery and total eradication. But even, and we don't know what's going to happen to the spirits after, but it's not going to be some hell. All right, it's not going to be. They're not going to go to hell. No. All right. Okay. So again, that's against the Lord's character, man. Because going to hell forever, that's eternal. That's eternal damnation, man. Okay, like full on damnation, man. Burning for all eternity, man. The Lord would. That's not the Lord's character, man. That's not a part of His character. Okay. All right. Okay, the Israelites are His children. The heathen are meant to be our servants. All right, and first are slaves, and well, still, at the end of the 1,000 years, still be under us. Okay, all right. Everything has its role, man, and none of the things' roles is to go to hell, man. All right, and burn forever. Nah. All right. Esau is meant to be the enemy of the sword, but even then, he will have a definitive end. Okay, Psalms 16:10. For thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thine holy one to see corruption. Now, this is actually a prophecy of Yahweh Shai. All right, so let's go into the word hell. All right, Sheol, underground. All right, so let's actually
Strong's H 7585. Sheol, Sheol, and second entry, Sheol, Sheol.
All right, outline biblical usage. Sheol, underground, grave. It's the grave. Hell, pit, the underworld. All right, the Old Testament destination for the abode of the dead, place of no return. All right, grave. All right, okay, grave, hell, pit. All right, so essentially it's the grave. All right, okay, all right. That will not leave my soul in hell, because Yahweh Shai, he was eventually resurrected from the grave. All right, okay, from that state. Okay, neither wilt thou suffer thine holy one to see corruption, because Yahweh Shai, he was resurrected on the third day. And who's the holy one? That means an individual. Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. Okay, who else would it be? To see corruption, because Yahweh Shai, he was raised on the third day before his body could truly start decomposing, man. All right, before he could see corruption per se. All right. All right, or allow your holy one to rot in the grave. Okay. All right. For you will not leave my soul among the dead. All right, because the dead, well, they're in the grave. All right, and of course, their actual spirit, it goes up to the heavenly Father. I'll go into that later. But or allow your holy one to rot in the grave. Okay, so essentially, that's one of the definitions of hell, the grave. Okay, but hell is also a condition played out on earth. All right. All right, a condition. All right, like people say, well, I'm going for hell right now. All right, going for a bad situation. That's actually an accurate use of it per se. Okay, of what it is in the Bible. All right, you're going for hell, going through a condition played on earth. All right, a hellish condition, man. Okay. All right. John 1:17. Oops, this is the wrong one. Hold up. This is Jonah. Yeah, it's meant to be Jonah. Oops. But so here's Jonah. All right, the story of Jonah. Okay. Now the Lord Yahweh had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah. And Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. Now, a belly is obviously not a place to be. Okay, it's acid, all right, stuff like that. So, now what was Jonah going through? Well, you would say hell. And here's what the Bible says: Jonah 1:2. Then Jonah prayed unto the Lord Yahweh his power out of the fish's belly, and said, I cried by reason of mine affliction unto the Lord Yahweh, and he heard me out of the belly of hell. There it is. Cried I, and thou heardest my voice. Okay, so Jonah was going through hell. So simple. Well, that's another thing what hell is. So that's all right. So it's a condition played out on earth. All right, a hellish condition. You're going through hell. You're going through affliction, trials. And suffering. Okay, you're going through hell, and it's also just a grave. All right. Okay, that's what it is. Simple. All It's not a place where you burn for all eternity, and then you got Satan poking you. No, no, no. All right, but here now about the topic of where the spirits go, of where your spirit goes after death. Ecclesiastes 12:7. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was. The dust referring to your body. All right, because the Bible mentions Adam being formed out of the dust, man. All right, Genesis that's one. All right, let's see. Hold up. Skip. Hold on. Let me see if I can Google search it. Genesis 2:7. And the Lord Yahweh power formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Okay. All right. Okay. The dust of the earth, man. All right. Because that's essentially what our body. That's essentially it comes from the earth, man. Because we have earthly bodies. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was. All right. It goes back to what it was. Okay. Per se. All right. What it was. Because we're all from the earth, man. Our bodies are. And the spirit shall return unto the Most High who gave it, man. All right, where's the Most High? The spiritual realm. That's it. Okay. All right, the spiritual realm. So really, everything goes back to where it came from, man. Your body goes back to the earth, and your spirit goes up to the Lord, to the spiritual realm, who is in the spiritual realm. Okay. Now let's get Ecclesiastes 3:21. Let's go. Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward? Where's upward? By that means to the spiritual realm. All right. And the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth. Okay, so there it is once again, man. All right, doesn't mention the dimension. What mentions that you go to the spiritual realm. All right, okay. And yes, there is a portion of judgment after that, but you'll see that the punishment, the soul, your judgment really it's reincarnation. That's what it is for humans. It's just reincarnation. Okay, you go back down to the earth to live out your judgment, man. But let's get Job 3:11. Why died I not in the womb? Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly? Okay, why did the knees prevent me, or why the breast that I should suck? For now should I have lain still and been quiet. I should have slept. Had I been at rest, with kings and counselors of the earth, which built desolate places for themselves, over princes that had gold, or filled their houses with silver. Or as a hidden untimely birth, I had not been as infants which never saw light. There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest, man. So after death is actually rest, man. Okay? You rest. Then there the prisoners rest together, they hear not the voice of the oppressor. The small and great are there, and the servant is free from his master. Okay? Alright, so that's what happens, man. Okay, but let's get Matthew 10:28. Alright. You enter into rest after your death, man. Okay, but what about this? Matthew 10:28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul. Alright, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. So this is not actually talking about again the dimension hell you're burned forever. No. As I've established, as the scriptures established, not me. Alright, the hell is a grave or a condition played out on earth. Okay. Alright, or a condition, man. Okay. Which kill the body, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. How? Well, via reincarnation, by sending you back down. Alright, having you be reborn, sending you back down on the earth to live out your judgment, man. Alright, and some people's judgment are much more intense than others, man. Okay. And that's what it means by both soul and body, destroy both soul and body in hell, because the Lord can give you a horrible life. That's what it means by that, man. Okay, all right. Let's get to Esdras 14. For after death shall the judgment come. Okay, all right. For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again. All right. And then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared. So after death, the judgment comes, man. After death, you go up to the spiritual realm, and then you get your judgment, man. Okay? Well, really, every judgment involves going back. All right? Every judgment involves at the end of it, the final result is reincarnation. Okay? All right? Let's get Deuteronomy 5 and 9. All right, so you go up into the spiritual realm, and then you wait. All right, of course, you have your judgment, but then you also wait until you're finally sent back. Deuteronomy 5 and 9. Thou shalt not bow down thyself unto them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord Yahweh, thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Because that's around the time where you reincarnate, man. The third and fourth generation, man. Okay, that's around the time when the Lord sends your spirit back and to live a new life, man. Okay, to live life on earth once more. And earth is that place of judgment. Ecclesiastes 3 and 16. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment. Okay. Well, now what would that be talking about? Okay. All right. The earth, man. If it was, because a lot of the pictures they have like hell and like in the core of the earth or something. If it was talking about the core of the earth, it would be talking about, and moreover, I saw under the sun. No, moreover, I saw under the ground of the earth, the rocks of the earth, the crust of the earth, under the earth's mantle and stuff like that, the place of judgment. No, it's talking about under the sun. And moreover, I saw under the sun a place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and a place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. So this place of judgment was under the sun. Well, yeah, it's obviously the earth, man. All right. Okay. So that's what it is, man. It's under the sun, the place of judgment. And that is the planet Earth, man. Okay, that is the place that's under the sun. That's a place of judgment, man. All right, because after death, then we shall live again, man. Okay. And then you receive your judgment, and then you live it out on earth. Okay. You're sent back down on earth in reincarnation. Now let's get John 1 and 19. Okay, and there's more precepts that actually prove reincarnation, but I'm just gonna do it quickly here. All right, I got a few precepts. All right, might seem a little jumpy. All right, via compared to like straight up starting from the beginning about reincarnation, but I don't want to desire to just get the point across. John 1 and 19, and this is the record of John when the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, "Who art thou?" And he confessed and denied not, but confessed, "I am not the Hamashiach." Okay. And they asked him, "What then? Art thou Elias?" And he saith, meaning Elijah. And he saith, "I am not. Art thou that prophet?" And he answered, "No." Now, why would they ask this? Because the Jews, they knew reincarnation. Reincarnation was the common knowledge, man. They knew about reincarnation, man. Okay, it was not some, doctrine that people consider crazy like nowadays. No, because it's true, man. Reincarnation exists, and the Jews knew that, man. All right, so that's why they were asking him. Okay. All right. Now let's get, and of course, Yahweh himself, he eventually actually confirms that the prophet John is straight up just Elijah. All right, he was Elijah. All right. Matthew 1 and 7. And Solomon begat wrong one. Hold up. Let's see. It is Matthew 1, and I don't know where I got that. Hold up. In fact, I might be 10. It might be the chapter 10. Maybe I just forgot the 0. 7 and 14. Hold up. I know it. Okay, that's why. It was just simply Matthew 11. Let's start at verse 7. Okay. Yahweh tribute to John. And as they departed, Yahweh began to say unto the multitudes concerning John, "What went ye out into the wilderness to see? A reed shaken with the wind? Or what went ye out to see? A man clothed in soft raiment? Behold, they that wear soft clothing are in kings' houses." Okay. All right. But what went ye out for to see? A prophet? Yeah, I say unto you, and more than a prophet. This is he, of whom it is written, "Behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee." Verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women, there hath not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. For all the prophets and the law prophesied unto John. Okay. And if ye will receive it, this is Elias, which was for to come. And NLT just says Elijah. All right. So Yahweh himself, he just said that John is Elijah. But you may ask, well, why did John deny it? Well, simply because, if reincarnation is real, why don't we have our memories? Because we don't remember. All right. Okay. The Lord made it so that we don't have access to these memories, man. All right, John did not remember his life as Elijah. Neither do you remember neither do you or me remember our previous lives either, man. Okay, because honestly, likely it would probably just bug us out, man. Because you got to consider, you would remember, well, your childhood memories from a previous life, your parents, your friends that you might have had, which would probably be dead by now. Um, you know, essentially everyone from your time would likely be dead. Let's see. You know, any pets, of course. May have had, you may have had something. Okay, everything that you lost. More so, you would just remember you were dying. You would straight up just remember you straight up dying, and just everything, man. Not to mention there would be you would be, if it was all the memories, you would be not be remembering one past life, but every single one. That doesn't seem, that would probably bug out a bunch of people, man. All right, wouldn't be pleasant. Okay, but Ecclesiastes 1 and 11. There's no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any small, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come, of those that shall come after. Okay, all right, all right. When you don't remember your past life, man. Neither did John. Okay, now I'm not saying that is the reason why the Lord, had it to where we don't remember our past lives. All right, the Bible says His thoughts are not our thoughts, man. All right, but it's well, I mean, it's likely that remembering your past lives, it would not have a good effect on you, anyways, man. All right, probably wouldn't have a good effect on you. Okay, but so again, there's no remembrance of former things. You don't remember your past life, and neither did John. That's why he was denying about being Elijah, because he truthfully he didn't know. All right, of course, Yahushua knew, but John didn't. All right, okay. Now let's get Daniel 12 and 9, 13, man. All right. So the king, actually, let's hold on. Yeah, I messed it up. It's 12. All right, and he said, "Go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed to the time of the end. Many shall be purified and made white and dry, but the wicked shall do wickedly." Okay, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to the 1,305 and 30 days. But here's the point. But go thou thy way to the end be. For thou shalt rest, meaning die. Okay, thou shalt rest. All right, Job. Where was it? Job 3. All right, after you die, you're going to rest. Okay. But go thou thy ways till the end. But go thou thy ways till the end be. For thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the days. Now, what lot was Daniel in? The prophet, of course. So stand thy lot at the end of the day. So would he just be in the spiritual realm prophesying to the other spirits? No, man. He would be coming back down on the earth to live out his life, and he would also be a prophet. Again, once more. All right? Because we're all living out our lots, man. All right? There's no new thing under the sun. And also the Bible says the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. If you were a prophet in the past life, you're going to be a prophet in this life. Okay? That's it. All right? And that everyone else is living out their lots, man. Okay? And stand in thy lot at the end of the days, man. Okay? Alright, meaning Daniel would be back in the end times, man. So, and could he be and could he be one of the prophets preaching out today? Yes. Alright. Or he might have been one of the brothers that were preaching but passed away. We don't know. Alright, we don't know each other's identities, and that's it. Okay, that's it. Alright. No, we'll all find out in the kingdom, but are in the kingdom now? No. Alright, but so that was hell's not a place to be burned for all eternity. What is it? Simply just the grave, alright, or simply a condition that is played out on earth, man. Okay, because in the spiritual realm, you're not. It's rest, man, and it's not hell. Alright, you feel amazing, man. Okay, alright, but in I mean, yeah, Yahushua said to the man that he would be in paradise with him. All right, meaning, well, that's just referring to the spiritual realm. All right, okay, all right. So it's not the spiritual realm, but rather a condition played on earth. Okay, that's it. All right, or the grave. So that's it. No, nothing like a dimension where you burn forever. That is not the Lord's character. Okay, that goes against His character. All right. So overall, well, that's what it is. All right, I don't want to just be saying the same thing over and over. But let's get salvation is only for Israel. Now this one's longer, but I don't know. It depends on how fast I read it. So salvation is only for Israel. Okay, the title says it. But let's get an image real quick. So here I searched up salvation definition. Simple. Okay. Hey, here's AI overview. Salvation means being saved, rescued, or set free from harm, danger. Okay. So first off, all right. Of course, Babylon, the Great America, is going to be destroyed. All right, that place is going to be destroyed. All right, and of course, well, we're in captivity, man. All right, we're being harmed, man. We're being oppressed. All right, because that's established multiple times in the Bible that the Israelites, they're being oppressed, they're being mistreated, okay, by the other nations, man. That they're in captivity, and right now we're in the fourth beast, the Roman Empire, man. More specifically, the second leg of it, man. All right, America, Babylon the Great. So, and these heathen, well, it's not like they're in captivity with us, man. It's not like they're. It's not like they went, onto ships to be chained and then whipped and then broken. No, 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 no. All right. What do these heathen have to be saved from? All right. A lot of the times these heathen, they were fine. They were in cohorts with Esau. All right. Okay. They were fine with him. All right. They weren't being oppressed like us. Okay. So what do these heathen have to be saved from, especially Esau, man? Because a lot of the times it's not really about the Chinese. It's no, 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 no. It's more so just about Edomites, man. All right, Jake wants to save his worst enemy out of all the heathen nations. Okay, not him, not anyone. All right, not anyone else, just Esau. Because that, especially Esau, what does he have to be saved from, man? He's the one who's bringing all this death and pollution and destruction upon the planet. So what does he have to be saved from? Okay. Set free from harm, danger, or the bad results of wrongdoing. Okay? Alright, in religion, especially Christianity, it is a spiritual act where the Most High rescues people from sin and its penalty, ultimate penalty being death. Okay? Giving them peace and eternal life. And both of these are really for the Israelites, man. Okay? And of course, we are already getting judged, alright, alright. Of course, we're already getting punished, alright, for the results of our wrongdoing, man. But ultimately, alright, the elect on this side are not going to get punished on by death in terms of the sin. Hold up. Let me rephrase that. It's a spiritual act where the Most High rescues people from sin and his penalty being death, man. So the elect on this side, of course, they're going to be covered by the blood of Yahweh Shai, man. All right. Okay. So Lord is not going to give them the what's the word? Thinking of that precept. The sin is death. Hold up. Sin is. I'm forgetting that word. Wages. Yeah, for the wages of sin is death, man. Okay. The elect, they're going to be covered by grace on this side, and they're going to be beamed up into chariots before that harm and danger and the nuclear missiles comes and hits Babylon and Great America. And of course, giving them peace and eternal life, that's for the elect and really all of Israel. So both of this applies to both of the Israelites, man. So to all of Israel. All right, not to the heathen nations, because as I'll go into, of course, one of the things that's going to allow that sinless nature is that new covenant, which is for the Israelites. All right, so let's get the first chapter. Okay, not the first chapter, first precept. Okay. That being Baruch 3:8. Okay, so because in order to be saved, well, you have to be there's something you have to be saved from. Okay, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us, for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power. Okay, so yeah, we are yet this day in our captivity, man, and that's one thing to be saved from. Okay, apart from sin, of course, the captivity, man. We are yet in captivity, man. We're still being oppressed daily, all right? We're still being mistreated, all right? Called prophets and bywords, all right? Not being the credit we deserve, all right? There's many inventions that are made by so-called black people, okay? And of course, Israelites are more than so-called black people. You know what I mean? There's many inventions made by Israelites that are credited to Esau, Edom, man, all right? All right, mistreated, all right? Everything, man, okay? Meanwhile, well, the heathen, they're mostly fine off, man. Of course, now the world's getting worse. All right. Well, that's the Lord judging you, man. That's the Lord making the economy worse, right? This and that, man. Okay. Because of course, Jacob's trouble is essentially on its way. Well, essentially, we're already in it, just the beginning stages of it. All right. Right. But hey, Jake is suffering. Okay. So that is something to be saved from. All right, and really, what did the heathen have to be saved from? Well, I mean, they were the ones that literally oppressed us, man. Okay, why save the oppressor? What did they have to be saved from? All right, from the boogeyman? Nah. All right, Luke 21 and 24. All right, right now it's literally the times of the Gentiles. All right, so like this is essentially just a retake. All right, but let's read on, and I'm just going to continue on. Luke 21:24. They shall fall by the edge of the sword. All right, okay, and shall be led away captive into all nations. That's what happened. That's what's happened to the Israelites in Jerusalem. All right, shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled, man. All right, essentially meaning the time of the ruling, man. All right. Okay, so now we are literally in the time of the Gentiles, man. All right, they're ruling on us, and now of course it's Esau, Edom specifically. If you want to be specific, but it's still Gentiles, man, ruling. Okay. Now wait real quick. All right, of course there's Amos 3 and 2. You only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for your iniquities, man. All right, the Lord has only known Israel, man. All right, the Lord Israel. All right, the Lord is only known Israel. Out of all the nations, the Lord is only known Israel. Okay. Now you may ask, well, what about the Gentiles? Okay. What about them? What about the Gentiles that say that, as the Bible says, are going to be saved? Well, those are not actual Gentiles. In fact, those are just Israelites. That's right. All right. So let's get the precepts. All right. Here's Deuteronomy 28 and 64. So first, well, these are the curses that we were and we still are under. All right, to this day. And the Lord Yahweh, this is one of them, and the Lord Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. So first step, well, really first we were scattered among the nations. Okay, we were scattered and still are, of course, among these nations, and we've been serving. A lot of us have been serving these other gods. All right, which now neither thy fathers have known. All right, especially that especially happened with America. All right, while being with the worst example, with the best example being JC. Okay, but of course America's not the first time. All right, so we were scattered. Okay, and we were scattered across, and the Israelites, they were still in the time of Yahushua. There was a scattering, man. All right, there was also a scattering back then too. Okay, and many Israelites, they were serving other gods too. All right, okay. Jeremiah 17:4. And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for you have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. Okay. Alright, so in fact, I just did a quick check, and really, this is actually not talking about the other captivities, because this is actually talking about, more specifically, the American captivity, man. Alright, which is, well, the one we're in now. So Salakia. So this doesn't really apply to the time and that Yahushua was in the New Testament. So Salaki for that, because back in the American captivity, well, that's when we really lost everything. Because back in the New Testament, there were still Jews, all right, Israelites that still, essentially knew that they were Israelites, man. All right, many were Hellenized, and that's why they were called Greeks. All right, that's why they were called Gentiles, to simplify it. That's just to simplify it, okay? All right, which of course, Yahushua's time was in the Roman Empire. All right, but of course, this is referring to the American Empire, because we just straight up lost everything there. All right, we lost everything. All right, we became known as African Americans, as so-called blacks. All right, all that proverbs and bywords, man. Okay, all these nicknames. Okay, and we lost everything, man. All right, we lost the names, we lost our heritage. We just straight up lost everything, man. Okay, so that's what it means, man. Because that captivity was the worst, and only now. Not only starting around 1969 to 1970, that's where the elder Abba Bivens, which we believe to be a prophet Elijah as prophesied in the Bible, who would come, okay, and of course he's with the Lord now, but that's when he came on the scene, and essentially now the ministry has started once more. Okay, all right, so Salaki for that. This is referring to America. Okay, but so. Now, this is 1 Maccabees 1. Now, this is a really important chapter, all right, because this is essentially what was the Hellenization of the Israelites back then that eventually led to the whole, Gentile, Greek and Jew, conflict that happened among the churches in the New Testament, okay? because this is really the start. This is really the Hellenization of many of the Israelites, man. That eventually became known as Gentiles, man. All right, okay. They were once in the Gentile state of mind. So let's start. I'm not going to read the whole chapter. I'm going to do some skipping, but let's start. 1 Maccabees 1:1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chetam, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that it reigned in his stead the first of Greece. Now this is all the way back in the Greece captivity, but the effects of this they continued on, and made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth, and went through to the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up. And he gathered a mighty strong host, and ruled over countries and nations and kings, who became tributaries unto him. And after these things he fell sick, and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. Okay, and this is referring to the Alexander that's known in history, man. All right, let me see. Alexander the Great. Yes, this is talk about that Alexander. Okay, and reigned from 12 years. All right, let's see, how long did he reign? Google AI said Alexander the Great ruled for nearly 13 years, specifically 12 years and 8 months. Let's ask 12 years, okay? All right, if you're 12 years and 8 months, you're not going to say, well, I'm 13 years old. No, all right, so 12 years, okay? And then died, all right? And his servants ruled everyone in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves, and so did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth, okay? There came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus, the king, who had been an hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year in the kingdom of the Greeks. Okay. In those days there went out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, "Let us go," and made a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So it is the vice meeting plan please them well. All right. So this is where the Israelites come in, okay? Then certain of the people were so forward therein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen, okay? All right. Wherefore they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised, literally, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief. Now when the kingdom was established before, actually let's skip to where it goes back to the Israelites, because this is why I'm here. All right. Well, all right. Now let's skip to verse 20. After that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt. He returned again in the 143rd year, and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude, and entered proudly into the sanctuary, and took away the golden altar and the candlestick of light and all the vessels thereof, and the table of the shewbread, and the pouring vessels and vials, and the censers of gold, and the veil, and the crown, and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled off. He took also the silver and the gold, and the precious vessels, which also he took the hidden treasures, and the precious vessels. Also he took the hidden treasures which he found. And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre, and spoken very proudly. Therefore there was a great mourning in Israel in every place where they were, so that the princes and elders mourned, the virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of woman was changed. Okay, every bridegroom took up lamentation, and sat in the marriage chamber, was in heaviness. The land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion. Okay. And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude, and spake peaceable words unto them. But all was deceit, for when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city, and smote it very sore, and destroyed much people of Israel. And when he had taken the spoil of the cities, he set it on fire, and pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side. Okay, but the women and children took the captive, and possessed the cattle. Okay. All right. They built this. Then built they the city of David with a great and strong wall, and with mighty towers, and made it a stronghold for them. And they put therein the sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein. They stored it also with armors and victuals. And when they had gathered together the spoils of Jerusalem, they laid them up there, and so they became a sore snare. For it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary, and an evil adversary to Israel. Then thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary, and defiled it, insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them, whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers, and became strange to those that were born in her, and her own children left her. Her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning, her Sabbaths into reproach, her honor into contempt. Okay. and had been as had been in glory, so was their dishonor increased, and their excellency was turned into mourning. Moreover, here's the point, okay? King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, okay? And this included the Israelites, man. So that all should be one people, all right? And he didn't label them all as Israelites, by the way, all right? And everyone should leave his laws, so all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king, okay? All right, so they all joined together. Yet many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath, okay? For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land, man. Like, live like the Gentiles, all right? And essentially become as them, okay? And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, okay? To the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die, okay? All right, and of course, many of the Israelites, verse 51, and in the self-same manner he wrote to his whole kingdom, and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city to it. And then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, everyone that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land, and drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they could flee to succor. They could flee for succor. All right. Of course, there's more here. All right. See. In fact, I may as well just read more. All right, lots of reading, but that's fine. Now, the 15th day of the month, Caslu, in 140 and 50 year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar, and builded idol altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side, and burnt incense at the doors of the houses and in the streets. Now, and when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire. And whomsoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any committed to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death. Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month, to as many as were found in the cities. Now, the 25th day of the month they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of the Most High. At the time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused the children to be circumcised. And they hanged the infants about their necks, and rifled their houses, and slew them that had circumcised them. Howbeit many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing, and whereupon they chose rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died, and there was very great wrath upon Israel. All right, so essentially, this all led up, all right, and carried on into all led up, okay. So essentially, you got many of the Israelites, they were being Hellenized, man. They will be turned essentially into heathens. Not literally, because they were, at the end of the day, they were all Israelites, okay? But they fell away. They were falling away. They became as Gentiles. They became in a Gentile state of mind. And not all of Israel actually committed to, stuff like this, man. Some Israelites, they still kept the law, and they did, and they essentially, okay, they saw the Israelites that didn't keep the law, that just straight up, consented to the heathen. They saw them as no people, man, as Gentile. All right, okay, all right. So that's what it means, man. Okay, all right. Okay, here's where is it? 1 Corinthians 12 and 2. You know that you were Gentiles, all right, carried away unto these dumb idols, even as you were led, man. Okay, that you were, all right, because this is it's lucky real. This is Apostle Paul speaking to the Israelites who were once in a Gentile state of mind, all right, who were Hellenized, okay, all right, but now have come back, right? They've come back to the Lord, okay, of course through Yahweh Shai, man, all right. You know, they've come into the fold. You know that you were Gentiles carried away unto these dumb idols, even as you were led, man, okay, all right. But they're still Israelites, man, all right, because the Lord is only truthfully dealing with Israel, okay. So let's get Isaiah 59 and 20. All right, that's simply what it means. Okay, Isaiah 59 and 20. All right, and the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgression in Jacob, saith the Lord Yahweh. Now Zion is a is a people before a place, man. Sometimes when the Bible mentions Jerusalem, a lot of times it's just simply, well, a lot of times it's simply a people before it's actually mentioned as a place, man. Okay, so a lot of times it just means the actual people of Israel. Okay, and the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgression in Jacob, saith the Lord Yahweh. Okay, all right. Now let's get Isaiah 45 and 17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord Yahweh with an everlasting salvation. You shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. There we go. So Israel shall be saved, man. Israel, Israel, Israel. That's mentioning Israel a lot, isn't it? All right. Okay. I'm not seeing Ham. I'm not seeing Moab, or especially Esau. The Bible. In fact, let's take a quick detour, man. All right. I'm actually going to go off this list for a little while. Okay. Tiny bit. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Okay? Now here's the Lord speaking in Malachi 1. The burden of the word of the Lord Yahweh to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord Yahweh. Yet you say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord Yahweh? Yet I loved Jacob. So the Lord, he loves Jacob. Okay? And I hated Esau. Straight up. Okay? And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. And it's also, well, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Romans 9 and 19, 13. Okay. As it is written, all right, and we know, well, what's the scriptures? The word of the Lord. Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Okay, so the Lord, he hates Esau, man. In fact, let's get some more precepts, okay? Let's see. 2 Ezra 6 and 54. And after thee is Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures. Of him come we all, referring to the Israelites, and a people also whom thou hast chosen. Okay? Deuteronomy 7 and 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord Yahweh thy power. The Lord Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So the Israelites, they are above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Now how is this talking about the Israelites? Well, of course it is, but verse 8, it mentions, how redeem you out of the house of bondage from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. So there. That's just some quick proof that this is just talking about the Israelites. Okay, all right, and of course Deuteronomy in general was for the Israelites, but that's just quick proof. Okay, all right. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. As for the other people which also come of Adam, thou said that they are nothing but be like unto spittle. Okay, meaning spit. All right. So hey, the Lord is liking the other nations just unto spit compared. All right. All right. So he cares about the Israelites, but the other nations, they're essentially spit to him. Okay. And hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. Okay. And you see, and now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing. So this is, it just said it. It just proved it right there. That's talking about the heathen. Have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. All right. Okay, so therefore, so the Lord, he cares about the Israelites, but the other nations, they are like unto spittle unto him, man. So why would you say spit, man? All right. Okay. That was just a quick detour. Let's see, where was it going? I was kind of... Hold up. All right. So, okay, I was at Isaiah 45 and 17. Now let's go to Psalms 14 and 7. Or that the salvation of Israel will come out of Zion, when the Lord Yahweh bringeth back the captivity of his people, meaning free his people from captivity. Okay, not literally like bring them back into captivity. That's not what it means. Okay, Jacob shall rejoice and Israel shall be glad. Okay, so once again, it's mentioning Israel being saved. All right, saved from captivity. Let's get Jeremiah 23 and 5 to 8. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. In his days, Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. Judah is, of course, a part of the Israelites. All right, in totality, and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is his name whereby he shall be called, the Lord Yahweh our righteousness. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that they shall no more say, the Lord Yahweh liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord Yahweh liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, and from all countries whither I had driven them. And they shall dwell in their own land. Okay, so once again, talking about Israel, man. And that branch. Now I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and the king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. That's talking about Yahweh Shai, okay? All right. All right, Yahweh Shai, he is a descendant of David, man, okay? All right. I mean that's mentioned quite a lot in the Bible. Let's get Romans 11 and 5. Even so then at this present time also there is a remnant according to the election of grace. So now I'm going into the remnant, man. Essentially, the remnant, just proving that the remnant mentioned in the Bible is also Israelites. So the remnant according to the election of grace. Okay, let's get Isaiah 1 and 9. All right, it's actually the remnant of Israel. All right, except the Lord Yahweh. You see that this is So this chapter, if you go into the context, this chapter is actually talking about the Israelites, okay? Which of course it is. A rebellion of the Most High's people. The vision of Isaiah, the son of Amos, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, and the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Lord Yahweh hath spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. The ox knoweth his master, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider. Ah, sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord Yahweh, they have provoked the Holy One of Israel. Unto anger they are gone away backward. Why should ye be stricken any more? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. Okay? Alright. From the sole of the foot even unto the head there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. Your country is desolate, your cities are burned with fire, your land strangers devour it in your presence, and it is desolate as overthrown by strangers. And the daughter of Zion, okay, once again the people, that's referring to the whole of Israel, okay, because Israel is likened unto the Lord's Israel many times is actually likened unto a woman, okay, all right. And the daughter of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard, as a lodge in a garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city. Except the Lord Yahweh had left unto us a very small remnant. That's the remnant. We should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah. So essentially, if the Lord had not left the remnant of the Israelites, Israel would just be eradicated. That's it. Okay. All right. But let's get Isaiah 10 and 20. This is this says it right here. And a remnant will return, okay? And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel, and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob, shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel. All right, so once again, it's the remnant of Israel, okay? The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty power, okay? So the remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty power. All right. So it's the Israelites. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decreed shall overflow with righteousness. Okay. For the Lord power of hosts shall make a consumption even determined in the midst of all the land. Okay. Slakia. So let's get more. All right. There's Romans 9 and 27. Isaiah, meaning Isaiah, also crieth concerning Israel. Though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant, the elect. So a remnant is also the same as the elect, by the way. A remnant shall be saved, okay? Because the elect are going to be saved, all right? So once again, let's talk about the remnant of Israel. So that's who the remnant is, okay? It's the remnant of Israel. Now let's get Jeremiah 31 and 31. All right, so this is about the new covenant. Behold, all right, referring to the second part. All right, All right, being free from sin. All right, no longer sinning. Okay. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord Yahweh. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord Yahweh. I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their power, and they shall be my people. Okay, laws are going to be in us, and they shall no more teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother. All right, meaning fellow Israelites, saying, know the Lord Yahweh, for they shall all know me. Okay, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord Yahweh, for I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. Okay, and this is for all Israelites. All right, starting with the elect, because the 2/3, well, they're going to be dead. Okay, they're going to have to come back via reincarnation. Okay, out of the elect's loins. Okay, meaning just be children of the elect. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh. Let's see. Actually, yeah. Okay, but here's a second covenant. All right, that new covenant. And who's the covenant is for? Of course, it literally says it's for Israel here. But let's get Romans 9:1-4. I say the truth in the Mashiach, I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Spirit, that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself for a curse from a Mashiach, for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh. And this is Paul speaking. And this is Paul speaking, the Apostle Paul. Okay, according to the flesh. Who is he talking about? Who are Israelites? There we go. Okay, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the confidence and the giving of the law and the service of the Most High and the promises. So all these things, those pertain to the Israelites only. Okay, the adoption, man, being adopted back to the Lord. And again, the Bible says the Lord is only known Israel. So how can these heathen? How can they return? How can they turn back to the Lord if the Lord never knew them? You can't go to a place. You can't go back to a place where you've never been. Okay, so exactly, and the glory and the confidence, both old and new, and the giving of the law, all right, and the service of the Most High, and the promises. One of the promises being salvation. Okay, all right, salvation is promised, man. Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Hamashiach came, who is over all, the Most High, blessed forever. Amen. Okay, let's see. This is Paul is speaking. Okay, I say then, hath the Most High cast away his people? The Most High forbid. For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham of the tribe of Benjamin. So that's what tribe Paul was. Okay, um, but so hey, okay, that's self-explanatory, man. All right. Now here's the precepts. Here's some precepts that might get some people confused. What about John 3:16? Okay, so let's read it. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Okay. Now, what world is this talking about? Because again, the KJV, well, sometimes it's not perfect. Okay, all right, it's accurate, but it's not perfect. Okay, so if you go into this world, all right, because again, the Bible was not obviously in English; it was in Hebrew at first, and of course in Greek. All right, the Testament written in Greek, of course. The world, go into the world.
Strong's G 2889. Cosmos. Cosmos.
Okay, outline in biblical usage, an apt and harmonious arrangement of constitution, order, government. Okay, let's see. Any aggregate or general collection of particulars of any sort. Okay, so and of course the Bible does not contradict itself. So this is really talking about the world of Israel. That's it. So the world of Israel, not the whole world. Again, I mean, does the Lord? Do you love spit? Like, because it's like to kind of get out of nowhere. But I'm just do you love spit? No, of course you don't. So the Lord, Lord likens the heathen unto spit. Okay, all right. So that's it, man. All right. So it's not the world, the whole world, like all the heathen nations. Nope. It's the world of Israel, because that's who the Lord loves, man. Okay. Not the world of the people whom he considers spittle, man. No. All right. You don't love spit. Of course you don't. So there's your answer. Okay. All right. So that's it. Now Matthew 15:24. This is who Yahushua came for. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Okay? Alright? So this is Yahushua himself speaking, as evident by the red letters. That's it. He was sent unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He came for the Israelites. Okay? And that's it. Alright? Revelation 7 and 9. Now what about this? Oh, the great multitude. Well, if you go into the word kindred, you also see that it's talking about Israelites. But let's read it. Revelation 7 and 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man can number, of all nations and kindreds and tongues, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. Okay, so of course I'm just gonna stick with the point. So let's go into that word kindreds. Okay. You may think it's all nations. No, it's just Israelites. Okay.
Strong's G 5443. Fule. Fule.
Okay. A tribe. Outline biblical use as a tribe in the New Testament. All the persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob. That's it. Once again, Israelites, Israelites, Israelites. Okay. That's who the Lord came for, and that's who the Lord truly cares about, man. The next world is for the Israelites. The Israelites will rule the next world. It's all for the Israelites. It's all for the Israelites. Okay, that's it. The Lord likens the nations unto spittle. That's it. Okay, so salvation is really only for Israel, man. All right, Yahushua, he only came for the Israelites, man. All right, that's it. Okay. All right, you may say, well, what about there's no difference between Jew and Greek? All right, roughly, that's me roughly paraphrasing, but that's also talking about Israelites. Okay, all right, Israelites, man. That's it. But for that, Lord willing, that was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakak Kodash.